Ladies and gentlemen, are we here? Is this thing on? Talk to me, Goose. Is this hello? I feel like you change it to RC Medium Tiny Truck Fan Garage. Medium Tiny Truck? What up? Hey, good to see you. Peter Griffin, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Guilty as charged of being handsome as devils. And here at the hottest show on the internet in the world. Kelly, I think I just sent you the email. Peter Griffin, how's Meg? Have you heard that before? I'm sure you have. Hey, JCB. We were flying in the real flight on Monday like we had comms with each other. Pretty good stuff, bro. We were flying tight formation for not being able to talk to each other at all. I hope that didn't bother you. It seemed like we caught each other's drift, though. That was awesome. Yeah. Monday night real flight, flying formation, Jedi mind trick style. Y'all don't even know. Me and JCB are like blue angels. Flying Cubs. Flying Cubs. Yeah, that was awesome. Kelly, do I need to send it again, bro? Pete, come on the real flight. Monday night, dude. It's Wild Bill is hosting the fly-in, and it's always the room is called like Monday night real flight fly-in or whatever. And the password is always 8675309 for a good time call. Yeah. So Kelly's going to come on tonight. He's got a special super secret squirrel sauce project. He's been working on. And Pete, we could have you on here too for the tiny truck show as well. Medium tiny trucks, whatever you want to call it. We can do it. We can get it done. I had a good time on the Urban Legend RC show on Tuesday. A bunch of talented guys on there talking about I was on a panel with a bunch of guys talking 3D printing. We had cats that had been on it for 10 years and guys that have been doing it for 6 months, like me. All right, let me send it again, dude. $12.20, right? I hope I didn't send it to some rando. No, that's it. Watch, I'll have some rando pop in on the show. Bro, you should have got it. Let's start with real fright. Real fright. You should have got it, Kel. But in the meantime, I'm working on projects for way too long. Kelly's got a new truck every weekend. And I'm still on the 55. Dad, what up? Looking good. Pete, I totally bought that flashlight and that UV resin. The flashlight's a joke. I need to get lamps or like the thing for your nails, but jack it up so I can get parts under it. But that stuff's amazing. I don't know how you did it with a flashlight. It must have took forever to get parts cured enough to mess with. But I'm going to mock this up while we're... If I got to send it again, I'll do it. I want to send it one more time. Maybe I got a dud flashlight. Man, it burns out quick too, the batteries. I'm just going to get a light, dude. Amazon, $20 for like 2 big lamps or something. That stuff is so nice to work with. Like that's what's holding me up. I've been dragging my feet on just doing it, but I got to get it. So, I mean, it cured up for me fine, but I'm just little pieces. I want to put like full front clips in it and stuff, and like such as, all right, I'm not going to take my Ford off the chassis because this thing is so far away from being done, but I can mock up the body. Come on, dude. And it probably won't end up this green. How long can a turbo timber evolution last if flown about 2 times a week with soft landings? Forever. Yeah, exactly. And what's cool is, I mean, there's parts. So, you know, if necessary, it can be repaired for sure. All right, let's bring it over a little bit. I think I may have to try to send that to Kelly again. The 55 comes together super nice. The parts and the way the cab keys to the bed and all that. So good. And I just was tired of looking at it. It's a couple different greens and a little shot of blue right now. It's going to get sanded and scrubbed again, so no worries. It's going to change. Let me drag the camera down just a tick. But I had this pretty dark, and when I paint it, this green for me is like my favorite guide coat because I can really see what it needs. I should be upside down for this. None of these files have been free for me off Colts. Kelly had this 55, so I don't know where it came from. But it wasn't my Andre Bezrodny guy. But it's good. These are good files. Undoubtedly. And I'm just mocking it up so we can see it good. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. You replace the servos when you need to. They can't go at any time. Some will last forever and some will be dead out of the box. You just never know. But when you buy products that are backed by, a company here in the States that does a fantastic job, you don't have to worry about it. And some people are nuts and they want to fix stuff before it's broken. And those people will invest in, different servos out of the box, but I wouldn't mess with them until you need to. Amazon returns. Yeah, I'm probably out of my 30 days, but I don't care, dude. That flashlight didn't set me back very much. So this one's going to end up having a wood bed as well, just like my yeah, you can see the different colors of green and sheens going on here. Again, it's like a guide coat for me because I can see what I got to do attention wise. And I'm kind of nuts. But one thing I'm glad to see is that you see the panel line for the hood, but you don't see the line going across it where I butt joint the seams. So that's cool. But yeah, totally different color greens. And I'm not mad at that at all. It's coming together. It's looking good. And these arches have been cut to match the shape of the wheel that's on the SCX6. So it's not going to look funny to me. And yeah, I'm liking it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. A shiny truck? I don't know, Reitza. I've flown 12 batteries so far. After how many batteries would I need to replace them? Approximately. My advice is to worry less. Get a good charger that can tell you the individual cell voltages. Get a smart charger. They're smart. You can keep an eye on the cell voltages and look at the internal resistance to always monitor. You can hook it up to life alert as well. So if you get a cell that's on its way, you'll get an alert and the ambulance will show up at the house and take that battery off your hands and dispose of it properly at a recycling center or a hobby shop nearest you that takes batteries to help you dispose of them. But seriously, folks, keep an eye on the internal resistance and the cell voltages, and you'll be all right. Legit, dude, I've been flying since 2008, hardcore. I don't mess with servos until they die. If they don't do what you tell them to do anymore, like operate left, right, up, down, then you change them. That's it. That's it. I'm going to send this invite again because I do not think he got it. I don't know why. Copy. Send it again. I hope I'm not like sending you an invite to like the Urban Link show. Like Kelly's going to pop in over there by mistake. No, this is the same one. Paste. Okay, there it is twice. Kelly's address. Send. I can't do any better than that. He's going to have 3 invites. They will slow down or get jittery. You will have signs. Heat. If you get in, here's the deal. If they're sometimes it's not incredibly often, but I've had them dead on arrival, and it's going to be hot. It's not going to work properly. But if they work properly and they're not jittering, you're good to go. Pre-flight, every flight, cycle your sticks, make sure you're good, and you'll be all right. Hey, I think we got him. There he is. He had to change clothes, so we're color coordinated. I'm bringing you on, man. You ready? Let's do it. Let's do it. There he is.
Howdy, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Klein in the house.
Back again.
What up, dude?
Dude, it's been a day.
It has been a day.
How's everybody doing?
Can you got any volume you can give yourself? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
I speak like a trumpet, though.
Yeah, you got a good voice.
I don't know about that, but it's loud. I got a voice, face for radio.
Nice.
As they say.
Yeah, can you hear me all right, or am I?
I can. Let me turn up my
Gotcha. Everybody
volume.
All right?
Of course, I can hear myself because it doesn't come through the machine.
Right.
There you go. That's awesome.
Cool.
Dude,
awesome.
I was working on our video Saturday, you know, when it was just you and I out with, you had your super duper 55 with the new white walls looking killer.
Right.
Man, I started editing and I was most of the way done. And I've been busy. I was on that show Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. No one's here at my house. I've been working on the house while there's nobody around. And bro, I don't know what happened to the video, but I'm gonna have to recut the whole thing.
Oh,
it's all right, but it's like an evening, you know.
It's a lot of work.
It is, dude, because we have every time I drag in the files, I've probably got about 2 hours that I whittle down to my favorite 10 to 15 minutes.
Right.
And then I try to cut it again down to 9. I got to at least be an 8-minute video. Got to make that money, son. Got to get those ads in the middle.
That's right. We don't go out and walk for 5 miles for nothing. Come on.
For nothing. It's not because it's like an absolute great time. And man, for me to get out of the house, I'm like loving it.
Dude, it's awesome to be able to get out and get some fresh air. You know, we did it a lot over the wintertime too, which was fun. You know, like you've commented before, these F86s in the snow are just a blast.
Man, you know what's crazy is how long have I had my 6 since they were new? The Wrangler, since it was new, I got one.
Yeah.
Ran it with Bobby, a couple videos, changed the servo. But until like this winter, fall, I was the only one around here that had it. So we were running 10 scale. You guys took advantage of the sale.
Yes, sir.
And instantly started printing up bodies for them.
Yeah, blame me for it.
It's all your fault, and I was getting ready to blame you again. When I say it's Kelly's fault, it's this dude right here.
It's me.
It's this dude right here. And,
dude, and this
I'm so glad you guys got him because I felt guilt. I almost sold my 6 because it never ran. But now that you guys have them, bro, I drove a 10 scale the other day when we were out, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, I still like them, no doubt. But the 6s,
dude, they're a blast and they're bulletproof, you know?
What an impact. It's just like a big plane, you know? It's just the big Carbon Z anything just seems so much like more plane than a smaller one. Nothing wrong with the smaller ones. But dude, once you've experienced this in that second gear, never fear, dude. It can handle it.
Never fear. Dude, it's like the Carbon Z version of a crawler. I love it. Yeah, look at that.
It's already starting to be mismatched. It's a bunch of, it's like different greens and blues.
Yeah, it looks good, man.
But it's going to end up sanded down and everything. But, you know, I'm so glad I redid the fenders because I had overcut them on the last fenders.
Yeah, those look so much more scale.
They look way more scale than before.
So did you sand those out, cut it out by hand, or did you do that like in software for the
I
radio?
cut them out by hand, bro.
That's what I do, man.
And I didn't overcut them this time. Like last time so there's the scale height the way they come, and I cut above that on the first fenders. But on this one, I made my round catch up with the arch, the top of the arch, just like you did on the Carmen Ghia, where it looks, you didn't cut any extra than you had to. You just made it bigger
Right.
out.
Exactly.
And so, man, the Carmen Ghia body looks factory, the arches, and I think this looks good now. I didn't like it before, and once I committed to the running boards, it was a no-brainer that I kept as much as possible.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than the other one you had.
So you've completely messed up your 55 and kit bashed it. We gonna jump right in on that, or you want to wait?
I mean,
Dude, y'all got to see what he's done.
What Ryan's talking about, this one here's, I hate to say it, it's literally kicked my ass. I see we got 13 in here. I see Pete Holly's in here. Hey, Pete, what's up?
Wait. Hey, if you want to wait a minute, we can wait.
No, it's fine. I kind of thought, with me using this external camera now at the moment, there's been some questions on how do we get the right scale? How do you guys figure it out? You got your method. I have mine. I thought it would be a good time for us to do a little tutorial. I can set my camera up here in front of my other external monitor and I can kind of show some of my tricks that I do in a program called Mesh Mixer. I've learned to love it. I know you hate it because you fly back into the 1970s with it, but it's a way for me to marry parts together real easily and manipulate things because I don't know AutoCAD like, both of us,
Yeah, I don't either. I'm using the Tinkercad, which is, it's German for kindergarten drafting, I think.
I tried, but I didn't have any sippy cups handy, so I just tossed it to the curb.
Well, if you're already working it out somewhere, why bother?
Right. Yeah. So, I thought maybe it'd be a good time to kind of answer some questions and show off how I get to where I'm currently at.
Do it. Let's go.
With the other project that's been kicking my butt. So
I think that's one of the neatest things too. And like Kelly, airplanes is how we met. YouTube is why you knew me.
Yep.
And lo and behold, we're in the same town.
Yeah, it's cool.
So then now, like literally all my RC friends, I've met them at shows, but it's always been through the internet. Right. So having you and Kirk here in town and Sean,
yep,
and all my fly buddies that I've got together with in the past as well. But with the planes, it's a completely different deal, and you just put them together, bro. There's nothing to them. But we are pioneering new territory. Like I hadn't seen anybody do SCX6 3D printed bodies until you did.
Right.
And then we gotta, just like with the 10 scale bodies, like you have to figure out how you're gonna attach them. And I think it's been really neat to see your methods, what I come up with. We're all learning from each other and taking the best. I'm using the kind of clip hinge, half of what you're doing.
The quick release up front.
The quick release, except I kind of hard mount it. I don't want any wiggle. And I hard mount it and still use bolts and not doing any hinges.
Right.
But, that's just an example of how we're learning from each other here, like locally, get to really lay eyes on it and see it in action. And then how we're sharing it with the multitude of 13 or whatever it is in here right now.
14.
That's okay, because after the show, it'll be like 300.
Dude, it's like with Mr. Pete Holly in the house here. My big SCX6 Blazer body that I did. It is the true prototype. it's got jagged, rough edges on the bottom of it from where I hacked on it with a cut through anything saw to make it fit. And you know, Pete's is nice and pretty because I actually used the mesh mix program and went in and hogged out the floor so that way when I printed it, it was nice and clean, and it gave it a nice presentation. So
And that's something we've learned together, kind of from each other also, how we've been getting through this. I mean, you and I both haven't been printing very long.
no,
You started it here, and then I was like, I had to do it. But like we used to hand cut all the holes, and now we've learned how to drag in shapes, make negative spaces, like cut in the program,
yep,
which saves you time and filament and also makes a better looking product. So the stuff you learned, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, on your first Blazer,
Pete's got the pretty one now.
Pete benefits for what you learned doing that.
Right. Well, you know, I wanted his to be, you know, out of the box, nice and clean, and you know, to go together well, and you know, it's a nice presentation for him to show off, and you know, we'll see where it all goes. But I, I enjoy deep diving into projects and making things, you know, come to fruition in life. Kind of like, you know, it goes back to, and Pete knows Mike Patey. But I watch a lot of Mike Patey stuff, and anybody that's here that has airplanes and in aviation for any
most of these guys here are pilot dudes.
You know, knows Mike Patey, and you know, to watch him explain what little sleep he gets, I'm surprised he's still happily married. To tell you the truth, without ever even knowing the guy in person.
Because well, that's why she gets her own plane every now and then, right?
Right, or a occasional helicopter ride to dinner or whatever I see, but. You know, this guy's like waking up in the middle of the night with, you know, he's designing new parts, designing new things, and doing all this cool stuff.
If he does, what he needs, doesn't exist.
Right, and
so he's making it.
He makes it happen, and I gotta tell you, at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, and I did one night and had a vision of what I'm gonna show you here at some point soon, and I decided to get up at 4:30 in the morning, get in front of my computer, and start chopping, hacking, and cutting and mesh mixer to get to where I am right now. And I wish I wouldn't have, but I did. And it's cool because I've got something I feel like nobody else has got out there, and I like being unique. You know that, Ryan. You do too. So yeah. What we're doing with this stuff is cool.
And it's not like it's honest. It's not just for the sake of being unique. It's just the things that we want aren't available. So we have the ability to make it happen for ourselves. And I think it's a absolute thrill to bring something from literally an idea to fruition. And the fact that once you start diving into this 3D printing and you realize how much is out there, like, I don't know how to design much at all. I've made a couple of my own little brackets, really basic, but you don't have to be a drafter to be slick with fabbing up and making work your idea into something that actually, dude, we're thrashing on these things that we've made.
Absolutely. And the biggest part of this whole thing is you use the tools that are available to you and make it work. And that's just part of the experience and
man.
Growing, you know? So yeah, Pete. I don't sleep very much.
He goes to bed early, bro. That's what he does. When he says he gets up in the middle of the night at 12:31, I'm still up every time.
Pete and I were conversing earlier, and he told me, he said, man, you're bringing a new truck to the table every week, bro. Yep.
Bro, Pete tells me that in the comments. Like every week I got a new video, and I'm still rocking the same deal. Kelly's got a new truck. And yeah. the first SEX6 you did, was it the Rover or the Blazer?
That's a good question, because I've got 9 or 10 of them now.
Bruh. I think it was the Blazer, even though I'm surprised because the Rover you'd already done a few tint scale.
No, it was the orange, the burnt orange Rover was the first one I did.
I can verify if you're telling truth or not if I check my text messages.
Right? It'll take you far, but I think it was the orange Rover.
I think you're right.
And then I did the Blazer because the Rovers I don't have exactly perfect on the scale because I didn't do or didn't know how to do what I'm going to show all 10 or 12 of you in a little bit. So I think it was the Rover was the first one.
I think you're right. And you know, Kelly guinea pigs this stuff, right? So I get to see it, and then I'm like, okay. And then when I print one off, I'm not right always on the first one,
Right.
but it's like if I only print the left side of the truck first, just to check the thing
Right.
out.
Fit, yep.
Here's the truth. My goal is to just print the half of the thing to check out the wheelbase. But by the time I get that far, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make this one work because I'm half done now.
Sure.
So
Yep.
that's usually what happens.
Like
Dude, your Rovers look amazing, though. And then you did the Blazer first on a little leaf sprung chassis before you made the big one.
this ugly duckling, the Beetle. They always say math doesn't lie. Math does lie, because I did this exact same function that I'm gonna show all 11 in a little bit on the computer. I did the same thing for the scale, and it did not work out. It took me 3 tries to get this as close as it is. So, but you know, when you throw this whole body on the print bed in the software, you can't see it. It's so small. So I don't know. I don't know who designed it. I don't know what it is, but math did not work out with that one. Everything else so far has worked out perfect, but not this one. So I think reading the comments, Big Jim was wanting to know my thoughts on the 3D printing.
What filament works best?
Just I guess in general. I've been at 3D printing for a year and a half now. No, a year.
Yeah, I was going to say not even that long.
Maybe a year now. And my first one was Creality Ender V3. And I made Ryan's first Land Rover that got him started on this. I made that for him. Pete actually has my first Land Rover like yours, Ryan, that was my very first body that I printed. And then I don't know how many bodies I've worked out on that little Ender. It's been such an amazing printer. Yep, there it is. And now I moved up to the Creality K1 Max, and it's got a 300 by 300 by 300 print bed, and it'll print up to 6 millimeters a second, and I absolutely love it. I have never had a failed print on it. Everything sticks to the bed beautifully. It's an amazing platform, and I like the print bed size. I don't have to print these 6 bodies in a bunch of pieces and glue everything together anymore. So that makes it count.
Yeah, and I mean, think about this. Like the piece count
What's up, Wild Bill?
on this thing. This was you gave me Ziploc bags full of parts.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit surprised I even did it. You know, but I did it, and I was like, this is awesome. But every other body since then has been less work. Like these just were a ton of pieces, but a lot of flat pieces, and the prints look good really no matter what. And so I still don't have a big one of these. you know what I want to do if I do a big one, you know what I want. I want a 2-door,
Right.
which means it's going to be a huge body
Yes, it will.
in a way. And you've got width and you've got wheelbase to kind of marry and somehow come together on. But on your trucks and my trucks, it doesn't really matter in a way. Like my Ford, the wheels stick way out. It looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
My Travelall is so big, it covers them up.
Right.
It looks fine.
It's whether you want scale or something to go bash on.
I think as long as it looks good from the side, it doesn't matter how much the wheels stick out. It's kind of my thinking. You know, like the arches, you know me and the arches. I'm absolutely bonkers about it.
Right.
And a little can go a long way to make it look like factory. But the thing is, the point is, it's wide open.
Right.
You get to pick where you want to make concessions, and it's just a 3D print. If you don't like it, print it again. Shrink it, stretch it out, whatever it takes.
That's what I love about the 3D printers. You know, it's like you start something. I don't know how many scrap pieces I've got laying around the house right now of things I either haven't used because I just don't like the way it looks, or because I got scale wrong before I realized what I'm going to show you guys in a little bit of how to do it.
Bro, I think I'm thanking you again right now for printing this off for me and including me in on your 3D printing journey, because Kelly was so jacked up, and bro, you hit the ground running on the printer without a doubt. Like you know, I knew you got one, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna print whatever.
Yep.
But bro, you had stuff like going, and you were learning it hard and heavy.
Yep.
And then I think you wanted somebody to play with, and so you gave me these parts.
Enjoy it.
And I learned so much about how it works and what maybe we could do putting this one together, because I had to solve all these problems to make it work on a 4-link, coilover. This is a body that's designed to be on a Lee sprung chassis. You and I both had a ton of problems to solve to work this out, which gets your head rolling on future prints, what to do, what not to do. Exactly. It's all been a fantastic learning process, and I think every bit of our experiments are looking dynamite.
It keeps getting better and better with practice, right? And thanks Pete for the comment. Yeah, that Rover was my first weathering job, and because Pete has my original one. I sent it to him.
The little one?
Yeah, the tan one. Yeah. And he's got it mounted up, and Pete, have you driven that thing yet? But what
was cool about those is we set them up different too.
Yeah, absolutely. They're completely
different. Had a lot of preload on yours.
Yep.
And I did a whole lot of extra work like I like to do. I don't know if I like to do, but I do end up doing to tuck it up
right,
as tight as I can.
Yep.
And you like stiffer shock oil, and I kind of leave it alone. It's just awesome to see how these things behave differently too.
Absolutely. Answering a comment here, Jason. The Ender's a great first printer. It was super easy for me to jump right in and learn. The software is easy, like Bamboo is. They're getting to be so close.
Yeah.
Competition, so close together now. Super easy to navigate through. So I would definitely choose an Ender for sure. Super good printer. Mine still runs great to this day, and I have ran its legs off.
Well, that's the one thing too that we have to benefit from is the comparison, right? Like,
yep.
You have the Ender, and started with the Ender, and my first one was the Bamboo.
They're both
7 times the money.
They're both Creality.
But I got Bamboo, and you can't tell the difference hardly.
Right, right. Now, Kirk gave me some filament because I'm printing off some stuff for him right now. And it's an Ender. I think the brand is Ender, and it's a high speed filament. Dude, it's amazing how easy the supports fall off from the actual print. This
Oh,
this material is, I don't care for how it paints. I painted a couple things with it, but as far as usability, man, my other Creality brand filament, I got to use pliers and everything in his brother to get some of the filament broke off of these pieces. But this Ender brand, I've been really impressed in the last 48 hours working on some stuff for him. How when I take and break that stuff off the bed, literally the support pieces fall away onto the floor from the actual print. It's really cool. So
and that's still PLA,
it's a high speed PLA.
high speed.
Yep.
Um,
Hyper PLA.
you like it better than the Elegoo then you've been using?
I like the way that the Elegoo and the Creality versions print or paint. I'm not a huge fan of the paintability on this Ender that I'm messing with right now,
Okay.
the brand. But the supports fall away real easy. So, if you got something that's dainty and you don't want to be prying on all your supports, I tell you what, that Ender brand is sweet to work with.
Nice. The only filaments I've used is the bamboo stuff, which I like, and the Elegoo stuff. And you hooked me up with some of that.
Yeah.
And man, they both are very close. The only way I can tell there's a difference is when I'm cutting it with the jigsaw, the way the way the blade melts it.
Yep.
When I cut with the jigsaw, with the Elegoo stuff, it sticks together more.
Yeah.
Somehow there's more heat generated than when I cut the bamboo stuff. But my blade could just be getting old too.
Well, and you know what? That could say a lot for when it gets to be 90 degrees and we're out playing with these things and they start melting on the trail.
Bro, it's gonna happen. If it happens to me once, then it'll be fall before they come back out. You know what though? I think they're gonna do all right.
No, I think so. I mean,
And us airplane guys are used to hiding from the sun with our planes.
yeah, popcorn it out. Yeah, it's we're normally in the woods anyway, so no big deal.
For real.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stop my camera for a second and reset this thing and get it in front of my computer,
Okay.
and then we'll jump into a little bit of my tutorial that I kind of put together for tonight. If that's all right.
Okay. Yeah, man. Let's do it. I'll let me know when you're ready, bro. I'll drag you back in. I'll go solo. I'm gonna mute him for now. So you're gonna have to you might even have to text me, bro, when you're ready. Pete printed a full V306 body on an Ender 5. Still a perfectly usable printer, just needs some tuning and testing. Older is just less convenient to get good prints from. And I think everybody is trying to make it easy. So some of the conversations I've had lately with other guys, thanks, Paul. Everybody's printers now are getting easier and easier to use. So some of the nightmarish learning curves that we expect to have to deal with, we're no longer having to deal with it, no matter what the brand is. But if you're shopping bamboo, the link's in the description. So Kelly's ready. Let's go. I'm bringing him in. I want to unmute and scene.
Back again.
I think I may give you the big share of it, bro. If
If you're okay with that.
well, yeah, if
Okay.
there we go, that's perfect.
Nice.
No, that's better. Come on, man. I don't know what to do here, dude. Let's see. I'll just go solo for you. Let's go.
All right. So a little bit of knowledge where I work from when I'm doing these 3D prints. I started everything off by trying to get a scale. And so you guys can all see this fine.
Yes.
Cool. This is the Mesh Mix program I use that Ryan calls like a dinosaur program. I have found myself to be living in this a lot lately. So for me to figure out scale, I'll basically go in here and create a plane cut, they call it. And some of you have maybe played with this software before. So I will create a plane here that's 90 degrees and work this guy over, and I will set this where I feel like I want the axle to rest at
Yes.
on the actual wheel well.
Yes.
So when I get it where I want, then I'll actually slice and keep both sections, accept it, and then I'll separate the shells. So what this does is it separates where your plane cut's at. So now I just want to get rid of this front section. So I highlight it, hit the trash can, and it's gone. Highlight this, we'll go back, we'll do another plane cut, rotate 90 degrees for the next cut. And then I will slide this back to where I want that back axle at. So we'll just, call it there, for instance. And we'll keep both. And again, separate the shells. So I've got that back section highlighted. I'm going to get rid of it. So this is where I save it. And then I will go grab this and bring it into my Creality software, which I have that already set up to save us some time. So here's what we just mesh mixed and sliced up. So now what I'll do is I'll go into my scaling, and just for the craziness of it, I need to look and see. Okay, got it. So
Let me ask you something.
yeah,
I love seeing how you and I do the same thing different ways. I like this better. But here's my question. Before you drag it into this program, could you scale it in the other program to the dimension you want? Because what we're looking at here is this full piece is going to tell us the wheelbase.
right. But that's the only thing I do with it here. I honestly have not got far enough to where I feel comfortable using. You can scale it in Mesh Mixer. I've never actually legitimately tried to accomplish that yet.
All you need is all you need is for it to tell you the millimeters. I'm always afraid of doing this because see how it highlighted the print bed?
But what? This is where I'm going. So
Okay.
on the size, so what is the 19 and a half inches to millimeters? It's like
I'll tell you.
495.3, I think.
What'd you say, 19?
19.
Yeah. It's like 482.
Okay. So if I punch in 482.
Are you talking 19 and a half or 19?
19 and a half.
19 and a half is 495.
495.3. All right. So now, so
Okay.
I put that in on my X.
Sweet.
For my length, and now look what it did. It gave me the scale.
Awesome.
So now what I will do, actually, hold on. Let me redo that because I don't have the uniform on.
Oh yeah.
Now there we go. So
That's more like it.
See all my numbers at the top here are 134.47.
Yep.
So from where I chop this off at Mesh Mixer and where my actual axles are going to sit at 19.5 inches with what the SCX6 is, everything within the file under the 1/8 scale file from the files that I purchased for this, everything I print or everything that I chop up into pieces and put on my print bed all has to be 134.47%.
Exactly. Yep. I totally get it. And so the whole goal of this exercise is to figure out what that number value is.
Exactly.
And now you're not confined to what you've done here. Now you can start back over with the files, slice
Exactly.
them however you want, front, clip, fender,
Yep.
whatever. And
Yep.
everything you print now
Is yep.
134.47.
Exactly. So if you're using a 12.3 or 313 millimeter, whatever that is, you just go into that program or a program or whatever and slice it where you want to put your axles at and do this, and you get your scale for whatever size you want.
I like the way you do this a little better than what I do. It's essentially the same, but I think a little bit. I like what you're doing better.
I
You get to
try.
really see it. You get to really see it way
Yes.
better. I do a little more estimating,
Yep.
but I'm still plotting a point on the arches and making a measurement.
Yep.
But being able to really see the wherever you're wanting to put that axle,
Yep.
the center of your wheel. I mean, that's the hub of the tire. Is
Yep.
kind of the goal.
Yep.
Center of the arch makes sense, So getting to see that whole thing like that,
Yep.
I really like the way you're doing that.
It's just, I just wanted to show this because I know that this question has come up quite a bit in this show and in the previous weeks or months.
Bro, look at the comment sections on the videos and on Facebook when we post this stuff up. There's a lot of questions.
Right. So, all right. Now on to my Mike Patey vision at midnight. This has been kind of a busy project for me on my off time. And I just didn't know if I was going to be able to pull it off or not. You can see I got the front section of the bug, center section, the third section, the back section's gone, and then there's a section sitting here. So what I've created is I am going to highlight that because this was all the sections from the Beetle when I separated everything out to create the actual full size 1/6 scale Beetle. So what I'm gonna do is I want to get rid of this because I'm gonna marry two things together, and this is where you guys are gonna be like, holy crap, really? So I'm gonna delete that, and this might be a dead giveaway when I turn this, but this is where I went and where I've been living the last couple of weeks. I decided that I was going to attempt to make a Volkswagen Beetle pickup truck. And so what you see here that's highlighted is the very back sliver of the 1955 Chevy pickup truck. I went in and cut that all out, and what I have done essentially is married this to the back side of the Beetle cab. And I can kind of show you, so you highlight that, and again you go into edit, and then I'm going to go up to transform, and now it gives the opportunity to move things. So now I'm gonna bring this up and marry this guy to the back of this bug body. So now, as you can see, it's way big. See that? So it's like, now what are we gonna do? All right. So when you asked about this, Ryan, I'm just gonna punch in 59. It should get me pretty close. So now I'm gonna just slide this guy up until it gets where I want it. And sorry if I'm boring you guys, but this is how I get to where I'm at right now. So that's about as close as I want to get with it. What I had to do is actually I need to go a little smaller. Anyway, so long story short, I can size this thing down with these values. Let's go. Oh, I don't know what I did there. Sorry.
But whatever, let me ask you this: whatever you do to this 55 piece,
Yeah.
do you also need to do to the bed, right? If you're like scale wise numbers.
No, so what I did was
No.
you scale down whatever you're going to marry to it, like this back half or this back sliver of the 55. Once you get it set where you want it, and I'm not going to mess with it now with your scale numbers and get where you want it. Then what you do is you actually hold the shift button down and highlight all these together and then hit combine. Now it's all one piece. So you can export this, save it as a file, bring it back into your 3D software, printer software, and you can print it, and it's all together.
But do you have to how do you make the bed fit then? Don't you have to scale the bed down to what you did to the back of that?
So this whole piece right here now shares the actual size that I printed the actual SCX6 bug body out of. So that's 486%. So when you put this whole thing to print it or cut it in sections, however you do it, this whole section that you just married all together and created one piece, I printed this at 486% scale because
Okay.
that's what the Beetle was to get it right for the SCX6. Now, the bed for the 55 is a different scale. So when you print that section or those
Well, I'm
sections,
asking. Yeah.
they're at whatever scale it is for the 55.
Right.
And then it all comes together. Okay? I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but this is where I live and this is how I do my stupid trick stuff when I don't have anything else better to do. But I went in and shaved some of this off around the edges and stuff and made it closer to scale. But long story short, I don't know. Here, maybe you can see this. There it is.
Awesome. Check that out, dudes. My thinking is, um, I can't get over the bed. Like how much messing around to make that bed fit the newly sized 55 back end?
To this.
Yeah.
So, what percentage did you print out your 55 Chevy?
I think 134.
Okay, so when you pull your bed components in to marry up to this, and you're going to print them obviously separately, but your bed would be the 135%, and then this would be the percentage of whatever you had to print the bug out, for instance. So you have to print it as two separate, complete separate entities, okay? Because the reason why I did it this way is because I wanted that slot right there where the bed slides in.
Yeah.
I wanted to utilize that, but this back cab section was my transition part from Beetle to
Yeah.
55 Chevy.
Right.
So once I married this back sliver onto this, it becomes whatever scale this is. The bed is whatever scale you did for that, because you're always going to end at the same result. And I got to tell you, I got lucky because this sliver of 55 on the back of this bug body, I didn't take into account for it when I put it on there for my wheelbase. And you've seen pictures of it. It came out pretty good.
Yeah. My thinking was when you shrunk down that back piece of the 55, was it sitting there at 134 before you married them all together?
It was the original scale
Okay.
that came with the files that we
Okay. So the reason I asked, because I was thinking if it's 134, like we're working with, you could almost take a note of what you had to shrink it down to fit on there, and then you could apply that to your bed pieces. But you just had to kind of almost like go from scratch to get that to work. And how much? I mean, your bed. How much did you have to did you have to shrink it down so it would fit on this?
No, because I knew what scale my Beetle body is. I knew where I needed to be at scale wise on that to make it proportional and fit to the right scale that I had for the 55 Chevy. So in other words, if I gave you the bug files and you chopped up the bug so you could do the same thing, you would want to print the bug portion at 486% scale.
Right.
The 55, you would take your bed components or files and you would print them at your 135%, and they're both going to come out the same size. It's just they were made in different scales. So once you know what each scale is, you can do this. You can manipulate it and make that work. I like Pete Holly's comment too. By the way, looks like need a CAD file on the SCX6 chassis for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he's also talking about probably this little red dot that's on the center of the build plate down below.
Yeah. I think maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Show us the real one. Show us the one you got. Because this is how you got there. But look at that thing on the bench, bro.
I don't know if you can see it, but
I'm coming back in. Bro, it looks so factory. And I wish these guys could see all the images you've sent me getting there.
oh, you know what?
But bro, the fender work that you did and the kit bash that you did on this, I mean, it looks, bro, look at this. It looks factory, man. And they don't know that you married two different fenders together, bondoed them, and finished them. They look like one print, but look how they're flared out. He added meat to the fender. So that's a bug fender married with a 55 fender.
Yeah, so the front fenders are chopped up fenders from the back fenders on the 55. And then I cut off the fenders on the original bug and glued these onto it and then filled it with Bondo on the inside of the wheel well, and then filled everything on the outside and smoothed everything out so it would all look proportioned.
Bro.
It's hard to see because it's black, but that's what I wanted. I wanted something that was
People are going to have to look twice because it looks so factory, right? I mean, it looks really good.
Right.
Yeah, you should have him send you the pics of the fender, Pete, because it is crazy.
I think Pete's seen some of the pictures of it. I think
he's asking for a before shot of that fender.
Oh,
well, look at the 3D image here on the slicer. Turn that a little bit so the front's facing us in the software. Okay, and then think about what you see on his truck. It's different.
So what I did was I actually chopped See this line where my pointer's at here?
Yep.
That line right there, I cut that whole section off and then married up my chopped rear fenders of the 55 onto that and then blended it all together to get that wider fender look so it would match the
back, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It looks so good.
In fact, I think I have, let me see if I can find them. Hold
A picture outside.
on. Oh, here you go. Let me pull this up.
Yeah. Bro.
So that's there you go. So that's what it looks like.
Dude.
That was before paint, guys. That was just a couple coats of primer.
My fave.
And I actually have a picture of the front too. I'll pull that up real quick.
Please do. Bro, that looks so cool. So there's also no running boards on this one, so it's sitting a lot lower, right? Dude, look at it.
Yeah.
Look at it. Bro. I'm sorry, man. That's killer.
So yeah, so you can kind of see the line where I, brought that fender in right here. But I wanted to be able to, replicate I wanted to match the back fender.
I'm glad you did that. It looks cool.
And yeah, it's sitting pretty good. I've got the preload all the way down on this, and like I said, there's little nubs on the plastic tray where the battery sits. I actually chopped those off just so I could get even a little bit lower.
Nice.
So it's as low as I can go.
About time.
Right? It only took me 6 months of listening to you talk about, slamming things down to get there.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Hang on. I got one more nice shot. So there's
SEMA
with some paint on it.
Dude. Come on.
That was before I wet sanded, but I'm gonna wet sand it again tomorrow afternoon late, and then probably paint it Monday or Tuesday next week, and the paint should be done. Then I actually took and used the 55 files. I took the dash and kind of worked it over and manipulated it and inserted the steering wheel in closer and married it into the dash of the 55 and printed that out and printed the 55 bench seat, and I put a couple of custom runners on the bottom of it so I can mount it properly. So it'll have pretty much full interior in it except for the floor. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there yet, but I'll get there. So this is gonna be kind of my showpiece. Anybody going to Axial Fest this summer, I'll be there and be cruising around with this fella. I can tell you that.
That looks killer, man. Good job. So, recapping on that. So you've got the 55 dash cut up, stretched, shrunk, whatever, to work in that bug body.
Yep.
So that's going to look killer. And then you've got probably the 55 bench seat going in, or what?
Yep. It's the 55 bench seat that's going in it.
Tell the guys how you did your white walls.
So yeah, so the white walls, I actually watched a couple different YouTube videos, and one guy was using spray paint. I didn't think that was the right way to go because I felt like paint would obviously chip off on rocks and whatever. So another guy used white plasti dip, and I kind of like that idea because the plasti dip is kind of a rubbery plastic. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go that route because it's more pliable. And I got to tell you, I was thoroughly impressed with how those came out.
You got a picture of that 55 with those tires on it?
Probably not on my computer. I don't.
I might. Come back in here if you're done with the tutorial. I'll try to. I'm gonna find while you're doing that. I'm gonna find. There you go. I'm gonna find that picture.
I get my camera to sit right.
Perfect.
Here.
Good work, man.
Hold on.
Yeah, just bring it over. What am I doing?
I don't need a picture. I can just do this.
Yeah, but it looks so good with the Chevy body. There you go. Dude, we went out crawling and that held up fantastic. I was impressed by it. You know, what's neat too is if it were paint, imagine how many coats it would take.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I used not even half a can of Plasti Dip for all 4 tires.
It looked so good under that body right there. Show that body real quick. The 55. Dude, the red accents on those hubcaps with the moons and the white walls, bro.
Zip tie certified.
Zip tie certified. I'm gonna have to recut that video. I lost it because I had to travel all, and you had that thing. Pretty cool.
It's like perfect, and it's like the short that I did on the video. You know, the music kind of fit the era. You know, of
yeah, that worked out. You had when I did it, bro. I had like an hour worth of footage. It didn't know what to grab for the slideshow. You had a couple really good clips. You didn't film as much, and it gave you a way better piece than I had.
You guys probably can't really see that.
Yeah, you can. That looks great, dude.
It all ties together pretty well.
It does.
Anyway, so I haven't been paying attention to comments. Any other questions for me on?
Pete's got one for you. I'll put it up. I'll put it up.
Good question, Pete. I want to say yes, but
I think it depends how good you prep it, and you prepped it really well. You cleaned it a lot, and did you also use some alcohol on that or not?
Yeah, I cleaned them with alcohol. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Simple Green first to clean the tires good, and then I use the rubbing alcohol. No, it's thin enough that I can't get a hold of it and peel it off. It worked really well. I'm happy with the results.
It looks really good.
Yeah, no complaints here. But yeah, so
nice work, dude.
This brings kind of a new thought process to what else can we, marry together? Do I figure out how to do a Blazer with, something weird? I don't know. I don't know if I want to go there with that vehicle or not because it looks sweet just the way it is, but
right. Like there's no better marriage than the Bug and that 55. Almost, right? It's hard to think of anything fitting together better than that.
I saw a real one on Google one day. I was messing around and I saw.
Yeah, you sent me the picture. I was like, give it a week, he'll have it.
And then here it is. It's.
I already knew you already had the Bug and you already had a 55. I'm like, of course this is happening.
Absolutely.
There's no way it won't. Yeah. Dwayne's asking what scale was the truck, but at 6, it's going to be on a 6 scale. It's big like this.
The Bug?
Yeah, what scale's your truck, Bug? It's 6 scale.
Yeah.
Like this size. It's this, except he's got a Volkswagen front end.
Yeah, it's.
Bro. Dude! Yes. Come on. Are you going to use the Bug bumper or what?
Nope. I'm not putting anything on it.
Okay.
It's just going to be straight up just like that. Look at that shine, bro.
SEMA. That looks so cool, bro.
It's gonna be my new favorite.
Y'all making it hard not to get the SCX6. Links in the discro.
Dude, you know what?
I never push it, but like legit, it is. It is. That's how I buy UV lamps.
It was
Appreciate you.
Dwayne, I gotta tell you, it was really hard for me to cough up the money for the SCX6, but when they went on sale, it was like, you know what? I gotta have at least one of these things. I gotta have one.
Now, how many do you have?
Well, I got two now.
Me
but,
too. Doesn't Kirk have two as well?
Yeah, I don't. Outside of my little comp 110 scale comp truck, I don't want to drive anything else. And my point is I never really cared for the honcho body, the lights on it or kick butt, but I drove it some, and then I was like, you know what? Like, I got a 3D printer, and there's a lot of bodies out there with files. I'm gonna try this.
You nailed it. And look at the way it inspires us. I mean, I've got 3 of them now, 4 if I count your Carmen Gia.
Right.
Kelly didn't like his Carmen Gia. Can you believe it? I have it.
I gave it to Ryan.
It's sitting here. I'm gonna do my thing to it.
Dude, do it. Yeah, absolutely. I just, I want to share with everybody, as much.
You should meet some YouTuber that keeps putting your stuff on display or something. That would help. Some YouTuber, it's not so lackluster. You need to find a guy with more subs than me in town to share out what kind of cool stuff you're up to.
Well, so what's Scale Builder up to over there?
It's a secret. We're gonna all have to wait to find out, but it looks like it's gonna be pretty cool.
Well, it's
we'll see.
I just wanted to bring something new to light for everybody, and I'm not saying I'm the pioneer on this, but I wanted to have a kick-ass chassis with a cool-looking body on it, and that's what I wanted, and that's where we're at.
And that's what you got.
And now this is number 9.
That's crazy.
So I got one more body to print out, and I'm done for the summer. It's gonna be back. It's gonna be back to float flying with Pilot Ryan and Bobby K. And
I mean that's gonna be cool too.
I even told Mr. Holly he needed to come over and go with us.
Oh, bro, come out on the boat.
So we'll go on the boat. We'll go to the sandbar. We'll fly along the boat, and then we can come back and eat healthy and have some steaks and a beer or two and hang out.
That's what's up.
Do it all over again like we did last summer.
That was a blast, dude.
Dude, I loved it. It was great.
I ought to film some. Dude, that timber video we made out there was killer.
Yeah, it's it's different being in the water and you're at that eye level with where you're flaring at. For the airplane guys, they're like, "Sweet, Kelly's here. We're gonna start talking about airplanes on a car night." But it's so fun to be at the level of where you're flaring.
We were standing on that sandbar, rocking it. I mean, it's the same thing for me all the time where like every now and then, I've made a lot of videos, but every now and then I think one is like, man, that's good. And it's like, it'd be cool if more people saw it. But you know what? I know YouTube wants them short and sweet, but like I kind of captured the whole day on that video. So it's kind of long, but it's got the goods.
No, it was,
we'll get some more of that.
It's the memories,
It's a great day, good video, but I don't have the views I want. I guess as I'm just complaining, my fault.
Well,
it's good. Who's got the footage next to a boat?
We need to get Cletus McFarland or Garrett up here with his float plane, come fly airplanes with us, and he can fly his B2 off his floats out here. Show us how it's done.
Dude, I can't believe that worked for him more than once. You figure, okay, but he kept taking it off.
Yeah.
I mean, it kept working. Like, I thought one and done. And, like, I don't know if he did touch and goes or not, but he got the up and down with that a few times. I was like, no way.
It's crazy. Yeah, Fred
Great.
Barron, what the farfig Newton, Kelly. Yeah, wait till you see what's going on the back of this truck, Fred.
He's already got it handled, Fred. Just wait.
I'd show it, but I don't want to upset anybody.
I don't think. Well, thanks.
I don't. This is a kid friendly show.
Even though it's not for kids. But yeah, dude, my kids are getting old enough where I think some of them might, the friends or them that may pop in.
Right.
I don't know about the lives, but
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, he flew that thing through a gazebo and stuff, didn't he? I mean, just crazy. Dwayne says if he gets a 6, we're gonna have to print a new body for it. No problem,
Dude.
15 hundo. Whatever you want.
I'll print you a Land Rover front end with a Chevy Blazer center section and a Beetle back end. How's that sound?
Wah, wah,
Wah.
Get it. I couldn't believe it, Dwayne, but my wife actually said to me, you ought to do a truck with a, I couldn't believe she said it because she is not square body. She's not up on it or care much about what I'm doing other than, it's a good outlet, I suppose. But she said, you got to do a truck with a camper shell on it. I'm like, what? I think she wants me to move into it. I think that's what it is.
Oh my gosh. Well,
instead of
say that, didn't you?
What's that?
You just had to say that, didn't you?
Yeah.
A camper, a pickup camper.
There you go.
Right.
I think me and you have been talking about me doing a big one of these.
Yep.
I think that's a great idea.
You need to have it done next week. That's what I would do.
There's no brother. I don't get to spend the same kind of time on it.
You got a family.
They do baseball's back on. Yeah. Busy. But I can't, there's no way I'll keep up with you. Dude, but I appreciate your mad scientist nature though, because it helps keep, I think we're all motivated by what we're seeing come out of Camp Kelly Klein over here.
Right. Yep. Well, you guys are all lucky to see all my stuff right now, but when it hits 75, 80 degrees, I was going to tell you earlier, I've been in the basement for your first live show or my first live show with you. I've been at the ping pong table in front of my little rack with the cars in the formal dining room because I got a ping pong table in the formal dining room at my house. And now I'm in the kitchen at the bar. So summertime's coming. So the next live you guys are going to see me on with Ryan will probably be on a boat.
My next one's going to be, I keep moving up too. So I'll be wet sanding in the shower.
In the shower?
Upstairs. Yeah. With my swim trunks on. I got swim trunks that are like Country Time Lemonade style. So it's like a tank top and it's stripes. And so is the shorts. Yeah. Wet sanding.
Oh my gosh, man. I don't need that.
Pete says Winnebago conversion. That'd be funny. To make a scale up a Tonka truck. Bro, I got a Winnebago sitting behind me.
Yeah, me
on
too.
A leaf-sprung chassis.
You know what? You, myself, and Kirk. Kirk bought one too.
Yeah.
I don't know if he converted it yet, but we need to take those things out and rip them.
I'm not sure if there's much ripping involved, but yeah. Some people think it's tired. I don't care. There's a. So what, man? I mean, I got a Tonka truck at a garage sale and I made it RC. I didn't invent that, but it's still cool. I got some clips of it. I didn't do a dedicated video on it, but I used it to pull other stuff
I
on a
think
trailer.
I think your vision of putting the chassis on it that you did, the Jimny chassis, was the exact right thing to do. Because I saw another dude out there that put like some Basher chassis on it, and
I've seen one with running nitro. I've seen one slam down like a drift car. I've seen a lot.
yeah, the ones with the Basher chassis, it just doesn't sit right
You
at
know
all.
what? For me, I don't like them when they're painted. I want to see the Tonka paint job.
Yep.
But I mean, that's the thing. Personal preference. It's okay if you're wrong. I'm not. I'm just kidding.
When you first did yours, I put a comment on there the night that I saw it. I'm like, dude, you need to turn that into a Spaceballs wagon. Remember Spaceballs
Yeah.
with John Candy?
I mean,
You know,
it's kind of like I remember the headline. I don't know if I saw the movie.
dude, look up the Spaceballs Winnebago.
I am right now.
It's cool.
That's
It's-
actually a good idea.
Seeing as how we're all into airplanes and cars now, we could have both.
You know what's cool too is like, oh, bro,
And then,
that is cool.
and then John Candy's name is Barf in the movie.
We need to make one of those fly for real.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Come on, that thing weighs a ton.
Yeah, well, not the Tonka.
Oh, just print one,
Uh-huh.
dude. Let's do it. Let's
It
do
doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be articulated. You know what I mean?
Yes, Chastity.
That's a team.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Definitely going to need some bigger wings, but that's okay.
And then we can sell the idea to Horizon Hobby.
There you go. I'm trying to think about all it's going to take to really make it work.
Dude, put ducted fans on it. You know?
Yeah, I'm thinking of vertical stability. There's got to be big enough surfaces to handle everything.
See, everybody, this is how it works. This
From
is
pitch.
This is how Ryan gets in trouble because of people like me that put these kind of sugar plums in his head. He'll be 3D printing an engine that sells for the Winnebago tomorrow.
The whole thing would have to be the Tonka one is way too big or heavy.
Yeah.
But bro, you could about fake it. You could about there's some aerodynamic challenges. But yeah, some of these cars and trucks from TV are like, from a movie, the Trimmer's truck. My dad was like, dude, you got to check out that truck. You're going to like it. You're going to like it. And then Brian Chambers sent me a link yesterday, of a truck with a real interesting story. And once I tell you guys, you're going to remember it. Okay, so
in the movie Overboard, Kurt Russell plays a carpenter named Dean Profit. He drives a Dodge pickup with his company name on the side.
Yes.
It was also used in the movie They Live and still had his company name on the side. Interestingly, the truck would appear one more time in the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
Going to pick up their Christmas tree.
That truck's been in 3 movies.
I didn't realize it. Because, dude, Overboard is a good one to watch when it's raining out on a Sunday afternoon and you ain't got nothing else better to do and Goldie Hawn's looking good. Dude, watch it. But yeah,
it's a crew cab Dodge.
Yeah, I thought about you when I saw that movie just back. Bree and I watched it a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago, and I'm like, that'd be a good build for Ryan.
It's dirty, it's dusty, it's blue, and it's rusty.
Yep.
Dust Fairy.
There you go. All right, you build that. I'll build the barf wagon. We'll roll.
Okay. I'm going to have to stretch out whatever chassis that goes on. I just already know I'm going to have to stretch it out because the crew cab, I think, is going to make it long. Hey, when is okay, here's a question for you. Leaf springs, a fad or is it here to stay? Go.
Are you asking everybody in the comments?
I'm asking you.
Me?
I'm asking everybody, but I'm asking you.
Oh,
What do you think? Because it has become very popular. I personally would like to see it on more consumer offerings.
I want it as an option.
Yeah.
Whether I want to put coilovers on or if I want to put leaf springs on, because
Modularity.
I'm getting really tired of cutting beds out of pickup trucks to
Bro.
to put shock towers up through and figure out how to cover them up. So if there's anybody out there listening,
No, dude.
we need to have the option of putting leaves on or coilovers on the same chassis. Modular.
Yes. Because when you go to the trouble of making something like this, and then you got to do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like, or some idiot out there on the internet has a tomato paste can covering up the shock towers on a Ford. Looks like this.
Pete Holly says Leafs for life.
I mean, that's not necessary.
Right.
So let's get a big old SEX6 with modular either lay down coilovers, cantilevered,
Look, guys, it's
or
this
leaves.
it's this simple. We got to get Leafs for Ryan, and we got to get him a sink basin because no more of the wet sanding in the shower or going dumpster diving to find crap to cover up your shock towers.
Bro, literally. I could have got cut making that work. You should have seen the fab work to cut that metal to make it work. And I had to put two cans together to get it wide enough.
I was going to say, you're lucky you still got all your digits after.
What are you talking about? I already lost them.
So yeah, so definitely, having leaves on the back and coilovers on the front is scale.
It is. And then you're wide open at every truck. How popular are square bodies? How popular are old school trucks right now?
Right.
I'm telling you, and just like airplanes and warbirds, where there's a connection more than just thinking it's cool, there's usually I know when I started in RC, it was all warbirds, and then fits in on into the modern age, and there's always some connection beyond just thinking it's cool. And airplanes is really niche compared to everybody had to have a truck or drove around in something. So if you can connect on old school trucks, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you've got a lot of potential, especially those old school trucks where it's like, yeah, my grandpa had this one or whatever. I'm telling you, make that chassis where it can handle a truck and have a scale bed in it, and you can sell the bits that go in the bed too.
Dude, it's like running our leafers, like the Jimny chassis with the Blazer bodies on it. Dude, they run great and they climb over all kinds of stuff.
It's amazing what they do. I took that out one time before it was done, and you guys with your Blazers, and what else did I have something else out there on that leaf sprung deal? I think it was you guys' Blazers. I was surprised we're keeping up.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, you were surprised at how well they were doing.
Yeah, because my only leaf sprung ones are. Well, my FJ40 and Michigan I did leaf springs on, and I remember how impressed I was with that dude. You did leaf springs on yours too.
Yeah.
And totally surprised by how they did. And because we would be out with those leafers and other guys would have coilover jobs and we were keeping up.
Oh, you talk about the FJ, the RC 4-wheel drive?
No, that is another leafer I have. Yeah, that's right. So I got 4 or 5 leafers, but this one,
Yeah. Yep.
because you got that one too, and we
Yeah.
both did the conversion.
Yep. The Michigan leaf springs. Yep.
Yeah, and they did good.
I need to sell that. I need to get rid of it. I don't want it anymore. Anybody want to buy an FJ40 cheap?
How cheap.
Cheap.
I actually kind of bought that one with the intention of like really doing a patina on it.
Yeah.
But I like it so much. I didn't want to dirty it up. But if I had another one, I might. I don't need it though, bro. If you can get money out of it, do it. I got one already. I wouldn't mind making a big one.
Do it.
I like the FJs, man. I got an FJ40, FJ45, and an FJ55, and a newer LC80 Toyota as well.
Do it. Have it done next week, Ramsey.
Bro. That's not happening. I just already know. I'm realistic. I think I've got so many projects going, but I really like the idea of this big. We got to get to a desert type of setting so I can get this one in the bag and to my dad.
We got to go back down to France Park. Remember we talked about this?
Yes.
And get in there where those little pine trees are at. I mean, that'd be a perfect setting for that truck.
There's a lot of deserty looking rock quarry kind of stuff there.
Hey, Pete, how far away from France Park are you? Where is that?
Fred's got 3 FJ40s.
I need to look it up.
That is the best place I've ever been crawling.
Dude,
And we took 10 scale there. If I go again, I guarantee you're bringing a 6.
it's in Logansport, Indiana.
If you go again, you're bringing a 6. Guaranteed.
Dude,
We wish we had them last time.
all I ever bring are 6s. You know that.
Yeah, now.
10 scale what?
I still like my 10 scale.
I do for certain things.
You know, my thing was I felt like the 6s were just going to tie us over through winter because we needed them for the snow. And now I'm a little bit stuck on them.
Nope, we're rolling all summer long. Hey, so Pete said he was in a different room. Pete, France Park in Logansport. Have you ever been to that park?
Bro. Taco burrito. What's coming out of that Speedo? You got troubles.
He's got some good ones tonight.
Wild Bill says I need a taco. I can always use a taco. It doesn't matter if it's Tuesday or not. A Tacoma? I mean, that's what the honcho is.
It is.
Hey, Pete, if you want to see that place also in one of the most best lackluster videos on the internet, you want to see France Park, watch my video on the FMS LC80. And I did 2 videos there. And this dude right here, the Willie's Wagon, both from France Park with my buddies, Kelly and Kirk and Sean.
Yeah,
That setting is beautiful there.
It's great. It's like the terrain there is awesome, and it runs you can crawl all the way around a big rock quarry.
I think we need to make product videos there.
Dude,
pre-release.
Kirk was talking the other day about
we can help.
Kirk was wanting to go down there soon before it gets
weedy.
Yeah.
I'm down.
We definitely need to make plans to go do that.
That's the kind of place like I'm taking the Ford. The Travelall is kind of like a little bit of a Sunday driver. The Ford, monster truck status.
Yeah, that's
It's my lowest center of gravity, best approach and departure angle SCX6 that I currently have.
dude. Yeah, I'm not taking anything but both SCX6s down there.
Well, I'm taking Little Dog. That's a perfect place for it.
Well, where we parked at right there would be a perfect place to climb up that
Bro.
hill right there.
Hey, I'll run one 2200 through it and put it away before I break it, and then we can go thrash.
Dude, 15, 20 minutes.
That's it.
You do your video, throw it back in the truck, and forget you had it. And then we roll.
Dude, I want a big one. You know, I was gonna make two because that was a lot of work, that project, actually. Because that wasn't one print file.
Dude, didn't I print half of that for you?
You printed the cab,
Yeah.
and then the back was to something else, and the fenders were to something else, and I fabbed from nowhere the bumper.
You know what? This SCX6 or this 55 bed would fit behind that cab.
Oh yeah, that's what's happening.
And then
I will put the notch in the Jeep bed where I need it to key in with the 55. All I got to do is put in a rectangle.
Yeah.
And size it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. It's got the perfect profile, and that's what I had to have because the files that came with this had a regular bed like the movie Twister, but I needed that rare thrift side bed.
Bro, I would be, rather than trying to go through the hassle of creating that channel for the bed to fit on the 55 into that cab, I'd chop it and do exactly what I did with this Bug. I would take just a very back sliver of the 55 cab and marry it right to that back of that Jeep cab. And then you got the slots already there. Done.
Right. Just cut it out and put it there.
You want it for you? I'll have it tomorrow.
I'll be all right. Like I mean, these didn't go together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of my beds fit together but that 55. Everything else, I've spaced them off somehow.
Honestly, if you would glue it to the back of that,
it'll be I'll be fine.
Anywhere. Dude, because you know what? When you put the CA glue on this stuff, and I've purposely done it just to make sure that my joints are good. Dude, the plastic breaks somewhere else other than that joint. Every time.
Yeah. It's amazing what CA does. And when I do have a break, I chamfer it. So I get even more glue in there. And bro, I'm literally using techniques I've learned from watching Full Scale Body Guys. Like I'm blocking. I'm using files.
Yeah.
I used to use sandpaper. I still do. But I'm using files for the rough stuff.
Yep.
Because, bro, what happens if you're sanding over a high spot? You eventually get through the high, but you spend a lot of time sanding stuff you didn't need to.
Right.
So if I use a flat bar, and yeah, you said you got some of those. I need some.
I got 50 of them. I'll share them with you.
Oh, geez.
So they got two different courses, and it's sweet because it's got an angle on it.
Perfect.
And you can get right into the corners when you're sanding. Man,
I've been using also this thing I got that's not as good as what you just showed, but I've enjoyed having it. It looks like an emery board for doing nails, basically.
Right.
But it was for hobby stuff.
Dude, I showed you last night. I took one of these stupid popsicle sticks, a couple of them, and threw them in water for like 45 minutes. And I took and bent the ends of them and cut them. And I was going to take and glue sandpaper onto these and just use them to get in crevices and corners.
Yeah.
You know?
Bro, where did my little dude go? Anyway,
Pete says he doesn't know how to make videos.
me neither. But yeah, it's basically an emery board. But I like what you got, especially for all the curvy stuff we like messing with.
Dude, and these things are they're kind of abrasive.
I use this one too. This big dog.
Oh, yeah.
But I got little ones of these, like little.
Dude, so do I, man. I've got some that I got all the little machinist little files.
These dudes.
They're round and radiused and everything else.
Round and flat and yeah. And I'm blocking with them, bro. Yeah. Like that Ford had a big crack across the top.
I wonder why.
Yeah, because we jumped the dirt hill. And I landed on the roof. And I still drove out of there. And that's the thing, dude. Kelly, in my Ford, full throttle, rear-ended the Carmen Ghia. And all it did was crack the bumper.
And it didn't do anything to the Carmen Ghia. Dude, that Carmen Ghia, bro, be careful sanding on that because you're going to get every color that Ace Hardware has.
I like that.
Dude, it's got like 15 or 16 different colors in it.
I think I know what I want to do that. I'm going to kind of, I'm stripped down some of it. Yeah. That thing is awesome. I can't believe you don't like it.
I don't.
You're going to like it when I'm done.
You know what? I don't like it the way I don't know. There's something about it I don't like.
I'm going to bring out some of the lines. Like the door lines and some of the you know what I mean? Some of the panel lines.
Yeah.
The vent, louver.
Depth, little definition.
Just to give it some stuff. I actually thought about Warbird patina on it. And like faking panels and rivets and shit.
Oh, so you're gonna do like a P40?
Maybe.
Something.
I figure it's a canvas for me to do whatever I want on.
Well, yeah. Knock yourself out because I got 45 hours or 50 hours of print time in that. Jeez. Or more.
Guys, it just doesn't translate in the video. Y'all saw the video where his yellow one was in it, but it's huge.
It's a big old nasty yellow machine.
I'm surprised you got rid of it because I felt like this was your lowest center of gravity crawler you had.
There it is.
It's huge, dude.
Yeah, and that I printed that in 6 pieces on my K1. Yep. Looks familiar.
It does look familiar. Dude, look at Pete's comment.
I know. Come on, Pete. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Well, we should. You know, I think I mentioned it to him at one point. We should meet up someplace halfway and crawl for a day. Because there's got to be. Pete, isn't there a real nice, like, is it Bloomington Normal that has a kick butt park?
But that's the very bottom of the state, isn't it? Bloomington?
No, Bloomington Normal's up by Streeter.
Bloomington, Illinois?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bloomington, Indiana's in the bottom.
What is the name of that park? They got like cliffs and stuff that people jump off of into the water. Isn't it close to? It's close to Bloomington Normal, I think.
What's this black stuff inside holding the windows in?
Hey, Pete said he can get us into the Badlands.
Axial Fest.
Yeah, he's got an open invitation for product shoots. I'd say it's time to take the Blazers down there, Pete, and let her rip. Pete, what's the name of that park where people jump off of all the cliffs up by Bloomington Normal? Man, why can't I think of it?
I think it's called "You Mama Can't Dance."
Your mama can't dance?
Yeah.
And your daddy doesn't rock and roll?
I think.
I cannot believe it's 11:20 local time here, and I'm still
Bro.
moving.
How
Dude.
are you still awake?
I was in the shower this morning at 4:30, wet sanding on this stupid body, bro.
As one does. I mean, doesn't everybody?
I guess.
They let me have it when I said that Tuesday.
I'm guessing probably so.
They did.
Oh my gosh.
That was a fun show.
Yeah,
I'm glad they asked me to come on there. That's fun.
They have a lot of fun. Dude,
That community is strong. That community is strong and growing. And Ty is a workhorse. He's doing his thing on YouTube right now.
Fred in the shower like a normal person.
Yeah, isn't that where everybody wet sands their toy trucks?
Right.
I mean, hands down.
Dude, bro, I think that they've got like four or five guys in there tonight.
Probably. I'm gonna go over there when we're done, which we are about.
Yeah, I'm about done.
5 minutes.
So, yeah. No, I was glad to be able to jump on here and show how fine scale and what I do with.
You could be on here every Thursday with me, as far as I'm concerned. I just, and that's why I was picking on you last weekend. Like, come on the show, dude. Let me know show everybody what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you're not gonna do the Spaceballs project, I might start it.
Bro, just do it, because if I do it, it's going to be in 3 years from now.
No, you'd start it next week. It'd be done in 3 years, right?
It's more like it, yeah.
But no, seriously, dude, we could do a ducted fan.
I'm slow, bro. But if we're going to pick on me about time, let's pick on me about, I don't know, man. If a dude thinks your truck's a real one and he clicks on it, that's kind of cool.
No, it is super cool. It is super cool. And I got to tell you,
it's that alcohol trick, though, you turned me on to, is I swear what put him over the edge. The red door with the alcohol.
Dude, it does a pretty good trick.
It does. And like you nailed it. It seems to be more effective if the paint is still kind of fresh, not fully cured. You get more effect out of the alcohol if the paint's not fully cured.
Yep. 100%.
Yep. And that's my style, bro. And anything I can do to achieve the patina without sanding through, because we're going to always, when we do archaeology, we're going to always rediscover the contour of the ground, which means the print lines. And just say no to panty lines. Just say no to print lines, bro. Underalls. I ain't trying to have it.
Just so everybody knows, I'm going to say it. Ryan's got an issue with print lines. Like I got
arches.
His red diff covers.
I don't, the lines and the arches and the ride height and this and that. And, I think I'd probably stop there. Kelly, he busts my chops about my red diff covers all the time. I told him when we were leaving the park last time, I said, man, your truck, because he paints his black.
You were supposed to get me a can of red paint.
Yeah. I said, dude, your truck looks so good. You just need one thing. What's that? You need to paint those diff covers red.
Dude, I'm sitting here staring at my orange Land Rover, the picture is on my desktop. and it's got red diff covers on it.
And it makes you want to hurl.
Yep.
I should just get brass ones.
Mm.
What's crazy is I had access to brass ones, but I was so financially frugal.
You know what though?
And I didn't take stuff from that store at all, but I had diff covers for 6s sitting in there.
Dude, but honestly, I don't.
They don't need to wait.
My 110 scale trucks, I like to play with the weight down low on those. These things, I could give a shit to put weight down low. You don't need it.
It's just like bigger flies better, bigger drives better too. Even on the scale Lexan bodies that are on these things, the body roll and the way they move seems so much more legit than the smaller scale. I think you got to make a smaller scale really loose and light on the shock oil to make it look like a real one. Otherwise, they look like they're bouncing around.
Yep. Well, and it's like my first 6 chassis has 70 weight shock oil in it, and I can clearly tell a difference the way it rides versus the other one that's stock shock oil. What is it, like 30 or 35 weight that comes in those?
I could look it up. I think it's 30, 35.
Night and day difference. When I'm in the summertime, when I'm running over like all kinds of like roots and stuff, dude, my 70 weight, the body doesn't even move.
It's so funny though, our preferences, and like some of the way we set them up. You drove my Travelall, and it's stock shock oil and basically stock ride height. And then I drove your Chevy, and you had a lot of preload in it.
Yep.
And I thought you had stiff shock oil because I know you like stiff shock oil, but it was all spring.
It was all spring.
And it's like a different truck.
Yep.
One truck you can set up and be multiple different things. I mean, it's awesome.
Dude, Fred, sounds like a red swing line stapler kind of thing.
Hey, that Travelall drove nice, didn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can just feel how nice it rides. It glides across the ground. It's nice.
Air ride. And then I drove my 10 scale leaf spring one, and it was like,
Yeah. Put it back in the car, man. You don't need it.
bro, you've got me spoiled on the big ones, man.
Well, now we're making cool bodies for them, and they look cool.
I'm so mad that video got lost because it was almost done on that edit from me and you the other day. We found that new little spot we never been to.
Yeah, down that little hill. Yeah.
That in that little one feature
Sandy
was
area.
visually appealing.
Oh yeah.
It looked awesome, and we had multiple angles, dude, and I was using them too. Dude, I'm so mad, and it's because. And I spent an hour trying to find it. I saved it, but it didn't auto save. So I don't know where it went. And I don't remember what I named the project. And I know I probably put Whitewall in the name, but I know it's like 55 Chevy and Travelall. And I try to give it some kind of name that indicates, what it is. Like I got the windows in the
Right.
Travelall now, and you had white walls.
Yep.
But I cannot find it. And it's a lot of work on a video.
It is. And then
Premiere Pro.
It's gonna be somewhere.
And man, I spent an hour trying to find it. It didn't save the same as everything else. I don't know what happened, but I saved it, but it didn't go where they always go, and I was not able to find it.
Yeah.
Because I already did the hard work.
Well, that just means you're going to make it better on the second round.
Or it'll never happen. If we go out this weekend, then that will be the next video I do. It's got to be there somewhere. I hope so, man. I mean, I really looked, and I feel like I know where to look, and I look places that I don't think it's going to be, and I still am not finding that sequence or that project. If I knew what I named it better, that would help. But I couldn't find it. Kelly's ready to go. Hey guys,
Dude,
appreciate you. And Kelly, anytime. I'd love to have you every time.
Yeah, this late night stuff just kind of it's hard for me to do because, like I said, I was up at 4:30 this morning, literally.
Bro, you're out of your mind.
5:15, cup of coffee down, and I was in the basement at my slop sink doing a wet sand on this body, and now I didn't let it dry long enough, and I got some problems on the back fenders. So, which is fine. I'll just wait till tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna wet sand the whole thing again. It'll just get better. So,
Bro, I hit this with paint. I had this in the sink, knocking it down,
yeah,
and then painted it after work today so it'd be dry enough to handle. Because I was just tired of looking at it the way I had it with the brown stain on it.
see you later.
I'm able to see what needs attention now. Way better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love putting paint on these things and sanding them lightly.
Well, you know how it goes. Sometimes it's the journey. I'll decide I'll have an idea in mind, but getting there, I may stop along the way and like it. The Ford F-250 was supposed to be this color green, and it ended up it's white with a red door.
The Italian Stallion.
So who knows? Yeah. So who knows what I'm gonna end up with? Pete, see you later, man.
Yep, later, Pete.
Nah, no problem at all, man. See you next time. Guys, I'm going to go hang out at Urban Legend, say hello. Air raid style. We're going over there. Kelly, I'm going to let everybody go, and we can talk right here for a second. I'm going to let everybody go, and I know you got to run, but we can talk behind the scenes for a sec.
That's cool. Hey, thanks, everybody. See you on the next one at some point.
Dude, drop in are you in the chat, dude? Put the link to your channel in here. I'll put it in the description too later.
Yeah, that's cool.
But Kelly's got a channel, man. Check out his shorts are dope.
I think Fred put it in there at one point.
Okay, cool.
Not tonight, but a different time.
That's all right. Guys, appreciate you. Thanks so much. Hey, when I blame Kelly, this is who it is. It's all his fault, and I couldn't be happier. I needed something to do. Kelly, I had no idea.
We're having a blast with it, man. And
Bro,
you know what?
When I built that first Land Rover, brother.
We could trash talk each other out in the field, and we all have a good time, man.
Bro, I'm thanking you again for printing off that first Land Rover for me, because putting that together and working on it, I was like, yes, this I like. I love having the problems to solve. I love getting there.
Yep.
I love solving them.
Yep.
And I love what we get when we're done solving them. And they're bad ass.
The end result being the same, but starting at two different places.
What we get, no matter how we go there, is something that is a artifact that started off being an idea that kicks butt.
Yep.
And then I think we're doing a good job to actually document it.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine doing all this cool stuff and not? That's why, Kelly, I've told you out in the woods, like, bro, I don't necessarily want to film this, but I wish I did, because it's too cool not to share it, because this stuff it's new. You've never seen it.
Right.
Before. These sixes on these custom bodies looking legit. It's cool. And I would be a jerk having this platform, not taking the time to grab it. Right. So again, thank you. It's all your fault.
Hang on, Jason. Thanks,
Dad.
Nice to meet you too, and talk with you. And hopefully, I answered a couple questions for you earlier that'll help you out. Shoot me a message or something if you ever need something answered on 3D printing or Ryan. Either one of us.
100%. We talk all the time, bro. We text all day almost. And dude, I'm glad to have you on here anytime you want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad. I'd rather have you than it just be me. And I'm thanks for having that ready to show us, because again, another example of like the problem is the same that you have to solve, but there's multiple ways to solve it.
Yeah.
And I like the way I told you that out in the woods a couple of weeks back when you were telling me how you figure wheelbase, and I was telling you how I figure it, and it's the same problem, slightly different ways to solve it.
Yep.
And then when there's no ego here, like when one of us learns how to do it, oh, that's slick.
Yeah.
Then the other guy will adopt it
Yep.
or modify and adopt or whatever. But the goal is the same.
Our little group, between what you're doing, I'm helping Kirk. He's doing his thing with his printer. I do some of the bigger parts for him because we kind of work together a little bit to help him get some of this stuff done. I would do the same for you if you didn't have your big bamboo. But we're like a tight group that we're like a brotherhood. We're there to help each other, and we're growing together, and it's cool. And I like where we're headed.
It's super cool. I'm so glad that, I mean, I love the internet of it all, but like really most of the time I've been doing this, it's been me and whoever was helping on the camera.
Yep.
And with that, there was definitely always one goal in mind, to jam out a review on a brand new thing.
Right.
We get to really just, no one's breathing down our necks to get this done. We're choosing it, and it's awesome. We're learning it together.
We're doing it at our pace. Well, I'm doing it at my pace. You're doing it at your pace.
That's right. That's right. That's it. I think Jason, you say the urban guys are done?
Looks
8
like
minutes ago? That's all right. I'm still going to dip. Kelly's got to go. I'm going to say goodbye to you guys right now. We're out of here. Thanks for coming by. If you haven't seen the most recent truck videos, go check them out. Check out Kelly Klein's YouTube channel. You'll know it because you'll recognize some of the trucks. He's got some shorts that are up doing pretty good. When you see the content come across from whoever it is, whether it's me or him or any of our other buddies on the streams that you meet, it's free to give it a like. You know what I mean? Engage with it. If somebody's going to the trouble of make the content and put it out there, give it that nudge, help it out a little bit, give it that engagement so it gets out in front of, more people, because it is super fun. The world could use some fun, and it's pretty rad. So with that, hands down.
And like what my hat says.
Why not?
Why not? Click.
Why not?
Subscribe. Hit the like button.
Hey, we're out of here in 5. Hanger Rats forever. 3 later. You're too good to be forgotten. We will see you next time. Bye now. Boom.